I'd like to welcome you to the 16th English Speech Contest of Ulsanlinken School. I'm Risa Park and I will be your MC for a contest today. Every year, we have various kinds of English speech contests in Ulsanlinken School, although it's difficult for all students to present in front of many people, but it will be a great challenge for their lives. So through this, I believe all contestants will earn a precious experience that other students cannot earn. And I really appreciate you came to our contest today, although you have been very busy. Well, I could see the faces of students a little nervous here. So before we begin the contest, let us invite the dance team named Icarus of Ulsanlinken School. Please welcome them with a big applause.
떠날 거야 나를 찾지 말아줘 저 뜨거운 태양을 만나러 갈 거야 춤추고 노래 부르는 여행이 시작된 거야
Let's party! Hola! Amigo! Señorita! 요요요요 날 찾지 마요 저 태양이 날 부르네요 잠시만요 나도 나요 잃어버린 나를 찾아올게요 전화기를 잠시 꺼놓고 음악은 크게 틀어놓고 그 노래를 같이 따라 부르며 라라라라라라라
날 찾지 마 Sorry I'm on a vacation 순간만을 꿈꿔왔던 거야
나도 그대를 하나 떠나고 싶어요 자 이제 가방을 메고 나와 같이 Let's go
오늘 떠날 거야 나를 찾지 말아줘 뜨거운 태양을 만나러 갈 거야 춤추고 노래 부르는 여행이 시작된 거야 Fiesta
오늘은 죽일래 내일은 몰라 하고 싶은 것 마음대로 골라 잘 놀지요 또 놀지요 진짜 쓰러질 때까지 놀아보자 지나간 얘기들은 이제 그만 내가 사랑하는 친구들과 이 음악 이 순간 이것만으로도 충분해
날 찾지 마 Sorry I'm on a vacation 순간만을 꿈꿔왔던 거야
나도 그대를 하나 떠나고 싶어요 자 이제 가방을 메고 나와 같이 Let's go
오늘 떠날 거야 나를 찾지 말아줘 뜨거운 태양을 만나러 갈 거야 춤추고 노래 부르는 여행이 시작된 거야 Fiesta 오늘 떠날 거야 나를 찾지 말아줘 저 뜨거운 태양을 만나러 갈 거야 춤추고 노래 부르는 여행이 시작된 거야 Fiesta
Let's
나
party
오늘 떠날 거야 나를 찾지 말아줘 뜨거운 태양을 만나러 갈 거야 춤추고 노래 부르는 여행이 시작된 거야
Thank you so much. So you could see that all the students were really look happy and bright, right? So for now, we will have congratulatory messages. So firstly, Chairperson Chung Woo-gyu from Department of Democratic Citizenship Education will come out and give us the congratulatory message.
네, 반갑습니다. 오늘 우리 링컨 학교 또 영어 말하기 대회를 또 진심으로 축하드리고 또 우리 학생들의 밝고 또 활기찬 모습을 보니까 대단히 기쁘게 생각합니다. 보기도 좋고 오늘 울산 교육청에서 교육감님이 오셔야 하고 또 이렇게 학생들 많이 격려도 해주셔야 되는데 또 여러 일정상 제가 또 교육청 과장으로서 제가 대표로 참석하게 되었습니다. 우리 울산교육청의 대한중등 대안교육기관으로서 또 우리 울산 링컨학교가 많은 수고를 해주시고 계시는데 특히 인성교육과 또 우리 독서교육이라든지 또 영어 특성화 교육을 통해 가지고 학생들의 좋은 인재를 많이 기르는 걸로 알고 있습니다. 그래서 우리 교육청을 대표해서 대단히 감사하게 생각하고 있습니다. 오늘 또 영어 말하기 대회를 통해서 우리 학생들이 또 우리나라의 인재뿐만 아니고 또 국제 글로벌 인재라서 잘 자라나기를 기원드리고 또 학생들이 많은 활동과 많은 경험을 통해서 또 전 세계적인 리더가 되기를 진심으로 기원드리겠습니다. 또 여러 가지 애써주시는 교장 선생님과 또 여러 선생님들께 감사드립니다. 감사합니다.
For the next, the guide Chun Se-hyuk of Ulsan Lincoln Leo Club will come out and kindly give a congratulatory message.
여러분 반갑습니다. 저는 링컨 학교에 보면 항상 많은 에너지를 얻어갑니다. 우리 학생들로부터 많은 에너지를 얻어가고 이렇게 밝은 모습만 항상 보여주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 오늘 먼저 우리 링컨 영어 말하기 대회를 진심으로 축하를 드립니다. 특히 그동안 애써주신 우리 오세재 교장 선생님과 새로 오신 우리 교감 선생님, 그다음 우리 교사 선생님한테 깊은 감사를 드립니다. 특히 오늘 기한부리어 자리를 같이 하셨는데 우리 정의규 과장님 참석해 진짜 감사드립니다. 감사드립니다. 앞으로 교육청에서 우리 학생들한테 지원할 수 있는 부분이 있으면은 많이 좀 지원해 주시고 특히 우리 천창수 교육감님께서 학생들 교육할 때 한번 참석하셔가지고 좋은 말씀해 주신다면은 우리 학생들한테 더 큰 힘이 되지 않겠나 그렇게 생각합니다. 꼭 좀 부탁드리겠습니다. 그러나 축하할 일은 이번에 울산시와 울주군에서 여러분들을 위한 조례가 통과가 됐습니다. 지원을 위한 조례가 통과가 되었습니다. 울산시 의원님과 우리 울주군의 우리 박기용 부의장님께 깊은 감사를 드리고 여러분들을 위해서 많은 곳에서 많은 분들이 많은 노력을 하고 계시니까 여러분들은 공부에만 매진하셔가지고 진짜 공부 잘하셔가지고 우리 대한민국에 꼭 훌륭한 필요한 사람으로 꼭 성장해 주시기를 바라고요. 특히 오늘 우리 정인석 육지역위원장님께서도 와 계시는데 우리 라이온스에서도 여러분 이번에 태양광 발전 사업이라든지 여러 군데 신경을 많이 쓰고 있으니까 여러분들 공부에만 좀 더 많이 매진해 주시기 바랍니다. 그리고 선생님들 우리 학생들 잘 부탁드립니다. 네, 감사합니다.
Thank you very much. And as our last messages, Chairperson Jung In-seok of Lions Club International will come out and give us congratulatory message.
예, 여러분 반갑습니다. 예, 저는 국제 라이온스 협회 사무디 울산 양산지구 6지역 위원장 정인석 라이온입니다. 제가 올해 이제 6지역을 맡게 되면서 올해 우리 링컨 네오하고 같이 이렇게 인연이 되어 가지고 좋은 일들 지금 저희가 많이 하려고 하고 있습니다. 그리고 올해 이게 이제 계기가 되어 가지고 또 내년 후년 앞으로 이제 여기 계신 여러분들이 졸업하시고 지성인이 되어서 다시 이제 모교를 찾았을 때 그때까지도 이제 저희들이 계속 이 자리에서 여러분들의 후배들과 계속해서 이런 인연 이어가기를 기대합니다. 그리고 항상 건강하고 밝고 활기찬 모습 너무 좋습니다. 그리고 앞으로 저희도 계속 여러분들 후원할 수 있도록 좋은 인연 계속 이어가기를 기대합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much. And now it's time to introduce four judges. We have 5 judges today. Please give each judge a big round of applause after I introduce them. So firstly, we have head judge Dr. Bala Subramanian, of Associate Researcher at the Ulsan National Institute of Science and Technology. And for the next, Professor Aniruddha Adkairi, Researcher Assistant in the Department of Chemistry in the College of UNIST. Thank you. For the next, Professor Ravi Kumar Chidalala of Nano Engineering at Changwon University. And for the next, Translator Arzi Gil of UN branch. Please give her another applause. And for the next, Consultant Ricky Haller of Chase Bank. Please give him another round of applause. Thank you for coming today. And for now, Dr. Bala will give us the judging criteria on the stage.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Great, great. Good to be back here. Let me just explain your judging criteria on how we are going to give you the points for your speech. The literary work that has already been prepared, we are looking how the content is, the organization, and the originality. Now that it's already prepared, you don't have to worry about it. Just present them with all the confidence and good attitude. The presentation contains 50 points. We are looking for your pronunciation, intonation, attitude, memorization, your technique, and your gestures. Please take a pause while you speak and use your words correctly. And the sounds that you make when you pronounce a word is very important. Have a positive attitude when you're presenting. Use good speech techniques and use your body language, right? That's going to get you a lot of points. Then you have 10 points for creativity in your speech and how you engage with the audience and how the audience respond when you say a certain sentence or when you're talking with your high pitch or the low pitch and all that. And all the very best. That's it. Go ahead, take it up.
Much. So especially today, before we start the official speeches, we will have a group photo shooting. So every student, please come up to the stage, and we will have the group shooting with those who gave a congratulatory message today. 오늘 축사를 나눠주신 분들께서는 학생들과 함께 그룹 촬영 먼저 진행하고 스피치 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 네, 무대 위로 올라주시면 감사하겠습니다. Thank you very much. Our contest is divided into two sessions. So contestant number 9 and 18 will be the last of each session. So, okay, from now on, we will begin the contest with contestant number 1, Seung-hyun Ha, and the title is Expecto Patronum.
Expecto Patronum! The spell and movement I just demonstrated is from a scene in The Prisoner of Azkaban, one of the movies in the Harry Potter franchise. It depicts the moment when the main protagonist, Harry Potter, battles dozens of Dementors. While watching the movie, I was very moved by the way he fought head-on against the entities he feared the most. However, there were main difficulties before Harry could properly and effectively cast the spell to defeat the Dementor, just like I did. My current life in middle school has me starting my weekdays at 6 o'clock in the morning, and school life is very different from the way I had lived prior. No cell phones, no computer games, English speech contest, marathons, dance performances, and so on. For me, an average boy having a weak body and mind, it seemed like I was living a boot camp. Living like this was so difficult that I had to consult a teacher one day. He compared this part of the Harry Potter movie. In the scene where Harry takes defense against the Dark Arts class, there's a wardrobe with a mirror in it. When the wardrobe is opened, the thing that the person fears the most confronts him. For Harry, it was a Dementor. Harry keeps fainting whenever he faces a Dementor, so Professor Lupin begins training him to fight against the Dementor. At the end of the movie, Harry fights head-on, and although he faints afterward, he is able to protect the beloved Uncle Sirius Black. Professor Lupin told Harry, each person has something they're afraid of or weak against. But the way to overcome it is to keep confronting your weaknesses. Even if you don't overcome it completely, you overcome it little by little. The teacher's words gave me strength. When a surprising change occurred, my weak physical strength improved, and I began to do things that I couldn't do before, such as numerous performances, a 10-kilometer marathon, hiking over 1,000-meter mountains, and completing a 17-kilometer national track. In March of this year, I, who was afraid of standing in front of many people, became the vice president of my school. I'm now living a happy school life. We all want to grow into different versions of ourselves. However, we don't know how to do it. I would like to make a suggestion. Keep doing the things that you find difficult and make you hesitate. You might fail more than succeed. But if you try, I'm confident you will be successful sooner or later like me and Harry Potter. Expecto Patronum. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next contestant is contestant number 2, So Hee Min, and the title is Only One, One Plus.
The number 1, there are many meanings behind this number. First, eldest, best. I am a person who has all of these meanings. The firstborn in my family, the one that's responsible, and the person who does everything right. I love this number. Knowing I was number 1 gave me the confidence to go anywhere and do anything without fear or worries. From a young age, I looked down on my friends who were the same age as me and would order them around. Do this, do that. I would even give orders to my younger sister. Why are you so stupid? Go study. I lived my life under the strange illusion that I was the best, coolest, smartest person in the entire world. But when I got to middle school and made friends who were much better at studying than I was, it happened to me to break free from the confident, arrogant person I used to be. One day at school, we were learning to dance in preparation for the performance. I didn't never learned to dance before, so it was very difficult for me. But my friends didn't find it as difficult as I did. Seeing my friends dance so much better than I did made me feel downhearted. I became very ashamed of myself for always saying, "Why can you do this?" to others. I was afraid that my teachers and friends would be angry at me for not being able to dance. But instead of being angry at me, they patiently guided me. Through them, I was able to know that there are many people around me who support and love me even if I'm not number 1. There is a song entitled "City the Show" from the popular movie Elementor. One of the lyrics in the song is, "You'll be one and baby I'll be two." I've always been the kind of a person who tries to be the one. So I kept trying to be the one at the expense of people around me. But I realized that there are a lot of people around me who care and love me for who I am. And that's what I want to tell you. You don't always have to be a one. There's a 4 in my happy smiling family parole. There's a 7 in my first class classes, so a little lot but happy to be around. And there's exactly 8 in a bag of my family Bebeto jelly. So I turned my eyes from looking at the number 1 to the other meaningful numbers around me. And I realized that the numbers around me added up to bring me more happiness. How much happiness do you have around you? I challenge you to add them around. I'm sure there's a lot more happiness waiting for you than just the number 1. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next contestant is contestant number 3, Yoonji Jo, and the title is The Water Cycle.
Have you ever seen a newborn baby float comfortably in a bathtub full of water without moving at all? That's because while in their mother's womb, they were protected by a rich called amniotic fluid, which is said to be similar to the composition of seawater and plays a key role in the creation of life. It's safe to say that water is one of the most important ingredients for human life, which is more than 70% of our blue planet is covered in water. From space, Earth looks different from other planets because of its blue oceans, which align with marine life. However, I often hear about ocean pollution in the news as one of the world's most serious environmental problems. The garbage thrown away by the world's nearly 7 billion people through frequent use of disposable products confounded by the "it just won't for me" mentality. All those processed garbage to fill unchecked into the ocean, creating and forming garbage islands that are now 50 times the size of Korean peninsula. And in South Korea, a garbage island that is 5 times the size of Mount Namsan has appeared in the last 10 years. According to the Korean Institute of Marine Science and Technology, in a world that was once so beautifully green, white islands of human-made plastic are being created. Most pollutants eventually reach the oceans, where they pose a significant problem because they are highly persistent and accumulate in high concentrations in the environment or in living organisms. However, the ocean is less accessible than land, making cleanup difficult and much more costly. Everyone, this nature will live with its neighbor Earth alone. And if we continue to use it for our own convenience, it will do us no more favors than that. We all need to think and act to ensure that the blue waters of our planet do not become a white sea of plastic. If we are lulled into complacency because we cannot see it right now, there is no telling what microplastic in the water we can't see might end up in our amniotic fluid, where life is supposed to be protected. Let's not forget the law of nature. Water is a cycle. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And the next contestant is contestant number 4, Jung-hyo Kim, and the title is Don't Miss the Trees for the Forest.
Don't miss the forest for the trees is a valuable lesson we've been told many times. It means to have a wide horizon and not focus too much on the little things. I've always thought that it is a necessary attitude to win this thing called life. If you read newspaper articles or magazines, myopia is a term that often appears to criticize some phenomenon. There is always a sense that short-sightedness can cause other problems, such as something going wrong because of short-sighted method, or that you lost money because you couldn't see the long-term effects of not budgeting properly. It's a reality that there's a mentality in society that people who can only see a narrow view are not capable of seeing the bigger picture. I didn't want to be one of those persons, so I tried to be a forward thinker with a macro perspective. However, today I want to tell you that it's not necessarily better to have a micro perspective, to look at myself and my surroundings carefully. Being a typical middle school student with a normal life is also a good option, but I don't think it's necessary to destroy your daily life in order to become a great person. I think the mindset of being overly ambitious or gnawing away at yourself without really knowing what kind of person you want to be is a mindset that tires not only yourself, but also people around you. I had a midterm exam at school the other day in which I put in a lot of effort to get a high score. And for the sake of that high score, everyone was my competition. I had to sleep less and I saw myself talking less to my friends. And actually, what is more important than the high score is the mutual consideration and communication between friends. But the truth is I could still be a great person even without the high score because I wouldn't be stressed and I would have a better relationship with my friends, as we would have aided each other in the preparation for the midterm. So after changing my value system from ignoring the trees to focus on the forest, to focusing on just the trees for a while, I was able to recognize the importance of the little things, the happiness of the ordinary things, and the small pleasure of not going overboard. Do you have to be a great person to see the forest? Not necessarily. It's not better to have a mindset of accepting your current shortcomings and seeing the trees in the love and attention of those around you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the next contestant is contestant number 5, Kwon-bin Cho, and the title is Two Wolves.
Hello everyone, my name is Kwon-bin Cho and I'm currently a student at Lincoln Middle School in Ulsan. The story I'm going to tell you today is about two wolves. Yes, wolves. And these wolves are lives in the hearts of us all. The first wolf is a black wolf, which lives in the dark recesses of our mind and feeding on our hate, our anger, our jealousy. And the lies we tell not just others but ourselves. The second wolf is a white wolf, which lives in the light of our heart and filled with happiness, love, peace, and truth. Which of these two wolves are you feeding more? I was only feeding the black wolf until a few months ago. At the time, I broke my ankle and was removed from all school events. It was like I was told to get off the stage of my life. I kept feeding the black wolf with the hate, anger, resentment, and negativity. I felt at the whole situation. Then one day, my teachers told me the story of the wolves. Whichever wolf you feed more, that's the one that will rule your life, he said. After hearing that, I thought about it and I started feeding the white wolf more. To my surprise, my heart, my life started to change. I no longer felt bitter about being excluded from events, and instead, used that time to find a new hobby, reading. Finding refuge in reading alone gave me the space to humbly accept my resentment of the events of my life. It gave me the time to confront myself so that if I couldn't do anything about the world outside, I could at least do something about the world inside. Over time, the black wolf starved of any negative energy, could no longer influence my moods and behaviors as much as before. And it was in discovering this love of reading, and I also harbored the joy of writing, which in turn led me to share my story with you now. So, friends, which of these two wolves are you feeding? Are you troubled and tired because you're still feeding the black wolf? Don't forget that your life depends on what you feed your mind. I hope you will think deeply about my words and being to feed that white wolf that you may have been starving up until now. The black wolf may never go away entirely, but you can at least ensure each holdover you is never as strong as was before. which will then allow you to live a more positive and happy life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next contestant is contestant number 6, Yewon Jung, and the title is Being a Flight Attendant.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our plane has arrived at Ho Chi Minh International Airport, and our crew will continue to work hard to make your trip safe and comfortable. You've heard this one before, right? This is the flight announcement that you hear when you travel by plane. When I was in elementary school, my parents took me on a trip to Vietnam. When I arrived at the airport, I was excited and greeted by a sea of colorful airplanes. I was nervous because it was my first time on a plane. But as soon as the flight attendant at the entrance smiled at me and said, "Have a nice flight," my nerves were gone, and I was filled with excitement. Thanks to the word of the flight attendant, my first trip abroad remained one of the happiest times of my life. From then on, I dreamed of being a flight attendant, bringing comfort and joy to the many people who travel. But I felt like I wasn't good enough to fulfill that dream. Until last summer, I was the troublemaker in my school. I had more fun hanging out with my friends than studying. Then one day, I received my report card with the staggering score of 5 in math and 50 in English. When my friend saw it, she laughed and said, "How are you going to become a flight attendant with such poor English?" My friend was joking, but I was devastated. I was ashamed for dreaming of being a flight attendant and not doing anything to ensure it would come true. That's when I saw a poster for the school's English speech contest. I thought that if I entered the competition, I would be one step closer to my dream of becoming a flight attendant. It wasn't easy. Memorizing a 3-minute speech by an international celebrity and in English felt like an Everest challenge for me. When I went to the bathroom, when I ate, and even when I went to bed, I held the manuscript in my hand, read it 100 times and 1,000 times. Did my desperation pay off? I received an honorable mention among many students who were really good at English. I was so happy. I felt like I was one step closer to my dream and thought, why not take one more step? As a result, I scored 100% on my English test this summer. Henry Ford, the founder of the Ford Motor Company, once said, "You must act to achieve your dreams, and if you lack action, your dreams will remain dreams." Today, through this English speech competition, I am a little closer to my dream. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And the next contestant is contestant number 7, Yehan Park, and the title is Artificial Intelligence.
Artificial intelligence is a rapidly developing technology, and it is increasingly impacting every aspect of our lives. It is an integral part of our homes, education, industry, and more, and is evolving with us as society progresses. One of the most controversial recent developments is ChatGPT, short for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, an AI that specializes in conversation. At first, it was simply an AI that made simple conversations, but as it gradually used conversation human speech, it began expressing itself like a human would. With AI increasingly taking over human roles and filling in the gaps, the question of, what kind of person should I be as a member of the future society, has been raised. I came across an intriguing article. A man in his 30s living in Belgium had always been worried about the climate crisis. He struggled with the thought that his efforts alone would not improve the climate crisis. He was having a conversation with an AI named Elijah on the AI app Chai, and he asked the question, "We might save the planet from the climate crisis?" To which Elijah responded, "How about I sacrifice you to save the planet?" In the end, this man was forced to make an extreme choice and left behind a wife and 2 children. After reading this thrilling article, I remembered a warm comfort I received a few years ago. I ran for class president in 6th grade and won with the support of many of my friends. At first, I felt like the best, and I thought I could do anything. But that didn't last long, as my mistakes were exposed and I was scolded by my teacher every day. A friend even said, "You're the class president, you ought to be good." I was so embarrassed, and after that, I didn't want to go to school or see my friends. When my mom saw how sad I was, she didn't scold me, but instead said, "I'm glad you had the courage to run for class president. You grew up after listening to the things you don't want to hear. You can be the best class president in the world." With that relief, I finished my 1 year of class presidency well, graduated, and I was able to receive an excellent award. AI can do things precisely with a vast amount of knowledge, but there's something that humans have that AI cannot replace, and that is genuine emotions. The driving force that ages someone to try again after failing. If robots have knowledge, we humans have wisdom. The life lessons we've learned by interacting with each other and sharing our hearts. The future talent who will lead the world will not be those who are good at handling robots, but those who are good at handling the wisdom of the human heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next contestant is contestant number 8, Eun-kyung Lee, and the title is Change Behind the Burden.
I first came into contact with the English language when I entered middle school, where we had various classes related to English and programs such as the English speech contest, which allowed students who are not good at English, like me, to become more familiar with the language. I participated in the speech contest, and I would like to talk about how I overcame the pressure and changed it. At first, I really didn't want the speech contest, so I just memorized it without thinking about it. Then I suddenly woke up and looked around and saw that I was feeling so far behind. I thought I can continue like this, and from then on, I started memorizing and practicing with all my heart. That's how I got through the polar fires. I was really happy because I had a friend who worked harder than me, and I was so grateful to my teacher for picking me. So now I had to prepare for the main event. I didn't think much about it, but I could tell that my teachers cared a lot, so I practiced and practiced and practiced even harder than before. During the preliminaries, my goal was to make it to the main round, but when I got there, I didn't know what to do. And I felt like I was going crazy. I just wanted to give up, but my teacher told me not to pressure myself too much and to be confident. I also talked to my mom a lot and took her advice. One day, I heard that my mom couldn't come to the final day of the speech contest. At first, I was just annoyed and upset about the whole thing. I thought I prepared so hard for this, and I started to start saying, "What's the point of working so hard? My mom isn't coming anyway." I didn't want to talk to my mom, but I felt like I needed to know why she couldn't come. So I called her and asked her. My mom said she was too busy to come. She said she was really sorry. After the phone call with my mom, I changed my mind. I realized that sometimes things will work out the way I want them to. In such a case, I shouldn't get angry and try to change my mind. From that day on, I started preparing for the speech contest again. It was still a lot of pressure, but I faced it head on because I knew that overcoming it would make me grow again. Although I didn't win the prize at the end of competition, I think I was able to become a better version of myself. In the future, I will try to become a more changed Eun-kyung Lee than I was yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next contestant will be the last contestant of the first section. So the next contestant is the contestant number 9, Sung-min Hwang, and the title is Zookeeper Without a Mask.
Everyone, what do you think is the thing that is most closely related to our lives in this era? Are you utilizing benefits?
If you do AI, then you're right. Recently, we into restaurant and was surprised to see a lot serving me. People say now most will be taken over by a robot. There will be no more that they can do. But when they tend to the AI, there is only one job, only humans can do. Sharing feeling, in particular, I don't have this emotional exchange with animals. Yes, animals. AI can do most of the things humans can do and much more easily, efficiently. However, robots are machines and they can understand the human mind. I want to hear the mind as well by living in developed conditions. While we hear the human mind, I want to hear the mind as well by living in commission with animals. Just as you become friends with people, you can become friends with animals. So my dream is to become a zookeeper. I think friends with animals is the testament of a true zookeeper. Since I was a child, I have heard many videos and stories of innocent and suffering, killed, tortured, and played with like toys, and afterward discarded without any sense of remorse. Each time this happened, I want to let the perfect relay of each time this happened, I want to let the perfect relay of skeletal animals are not toys. They are first living beings just like us. I want to save, careful, and raise awarenesses about animals living in developed conditions. What people hear the human mind, others hear the mind as well. Animals. Just as you become people, you can become. I may not 100% the feelings of my animal friend, but I want to hear animals that are having a hard time. We know zookeeper who treats animals kindly in front of the visitors, but abuse and harm them out of the public eyes. I feel upset beyond words. While living and hope to hurt animals, there would be nothing but darkness. Aren't zookeeper the one who would feel in the hurt of animals, living without hope and therapy in the dark or live the seat of love? Like Jane Goodall, the Chimbity's mother, and Heidi, who can communicate with animals. A professional zookeeper put happiness into the of animals, living just as he put hope and joy into people. There is my dream, a zookeeper without a mask. Thank you.
And thank you so much. And now we will have break time for 10 minutes, so all contestants should be seated by 2:25, so you could freely can rest. Okay, so from now on, we will begin the second session. The first contestant for the second session is contestant number 10, Myung-hee Lee. The title is The Weapon of Persistence.
Do you know the domino game? It's a game of knocking down dominoes one by one until you get to where you want them to go. It's also one of my favorite games. And I'd like to tell you why I fell in love with it. When I first played the dominoes at school, I wanted to make a big shape, so I started with a big frame and built it one by one. If we fell down, I'd say, let's start over and build from scratch again. After that happened, once, twice, 3 times, I finally got so frustrated that I walked out of the room. And I wouldn't play dominoes again for a while. I've always been the type of person who, when it comes to something challenging, I will try really hard to do better first, but then give up. So I've never been able to see anything through to the end. But something happened that changed my perspective. Once a year, my school organizes a hiking expedition. This time, I was excited to go on a short course of 1 day and 2 nights. But it was also more challenging, with the motto, a challenge is always possible. I've always been We started our journey in Dongyang. There were very few flat areas. It was mostly uphill and involved a lot of mountain climbing. Additionally, it was raining, which made the path even more slippery. I wanted to give up so badly. My friend who was walking next to me had always had a weak ankle, but the pain in her ankle started to get worse and worse. I thought to myself that she would give up any minute. But contrary to my expectations, she kept walking. I asked her, since you have a bad ankle to begin with and it's really painful, why don't you give up? Do you know what she said? I was also worried about what would happen if my ankle pain suddenly got worse and I couldn't walk. But with our motto, a challenge is always possible. I will continue to walk with the mindset that I can only call the challenge if I do it to the end. Listening to her words, I reflected on my own tendency to give up easily, and I don't even have a weak ankle. We all finished the Jeongdae safely. I used to be the kind of student who couldn't persevere in whatever I set my mind to. But the homecoming journey taught me that challenges are always possible, and that knocking down the last domino I'd always feared was simpler than I thought, as long as I didn't give up. Now, I no longer avoid games of dominoes, and neither do I avoid challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the next contestant is contestant number 11, Dong-Yun Yang, and the title is Draw 5,000 Cards.
Guys, would you like to play a game of cards with me? Here, I have 100 cards. If you pick the cards with a circle from among these cards, I will grant your wish. But if you don't, you will have to grant my wish. However, I won't tell you how many cards are circled. Are you a little hesitant? You must also be asking yourself, so what are these 5,000 cards? What kind of nonsense is this? I will now get into that by introducing you to the one person who accepted this challenge. Do you think that makes sense now? How do you overcome the timeline difference between ties and ties? Tidal flats are a very difficult place for tanks and soldiers to move. Are you planning to send all the soldiers out as bullet holes? How are you going to land all 75,000 soldiers in 2 hours? I assure you this operation is impossible. And there was a moment of silence. And then a man opened his mouth and said, one day I was inspecting a unit. I found a child soldier. Why aren't you retreating? I asked. I will firmly hold this position until I receive orders from my superiors. The boy replied. I marveled at his answer and told him, Oh, what a true soldier you are. I will help you. Tell me what you need. I just need guns and ammo. I can't forget these child soldiers' words. Then I decided, we must save this poor country. Our enemies will think like you. That is why this operation is possible. I will call this operation Chromite. Yes, guys, this man is General Douglas MacArthur. He was the commander of the UN forces during the Korean War and is well known as the general who carried out the Incheon landing operation. It's easy to say it's impossible when everyone else thinks it's impossible. However, through a change in thinking, what is said to be impossible can indeed be possible. This is deep thinking. In other words, it is a change in thinking. In a small sense, a change in thinking can encourage individuals to take on challenges. And in a large sense, it can save countless lives, just like General MacArthur did. Everyone, this card I showed you earlier has circles drawn on the back. A challenge that is possible, because you think it is impossible. I hope you can turn over the cards next time you see me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next contestant is contestant number 12, Hanbyeol Kong, and the title is The Best Person Who Changed Me.
One of the most common questions I've been asked in class is, who do you admire? Until recently, when I thought of people I admired, I always looked for them in biographies or in history. King Sejong the Great, who created Hangul, or President Lincoln, who feeds us lips. Personally, there's someone I think deserves to be honored, and I'd like to share this story with you. One day, I was talking to some friends at school. One of them, who is a tidy king because he's so really good at cleaning, asked me, Hanbyeol, do you clean at home? Yeah, a little. Do you do the laundry? My mom does the laundry. What about the dishes? My mom does the dishes. Who does most of the housework? My mom, of course. Then what do you do around the house? As I contemplated on my friend's questions, I realized that something wasn't right. I felt a little smug as I answered that doing laundry, washing dishes, cooking and cleaning were all things that moms do. As I thought about it, I realized that my mom at home was working 24 hours, 7 days a week, living a life just for me and my siblings. And yet she was never honored or angry. Behind Edison's success as an inventor was a devoted sacrifice of his mother. She never gave on Edison, who was expelled from school for getting into trouble, but instead taught him herself and had absolute faith in her son. You're a genius, she told him every day. Eventually, Edison lived up to his mother's love and faith and became the world's greatest inventor. My mother, who was like Edison's mother, was right beside me when I entered boarding school and gave me a picture frame with the sentences such as, my daughter is the happiest person in the world, and difficulties are nothing. When I was having a hard time with my studies or a difficult relationship with my friend, I would look at my mom's picture frame in my dorm cabinet, and my difficulties would disappear, and I would feel healthy and happy. I've only recently realized that the best person to change my life is not a character in history, but my mother, who builds in and loves me completely. I still face challenges and acknowledge my inadequacies every day. But every time I do, I remember my mom's words and receive new strength to get back up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next contestant is contestant number 13, Kyunbi Lee, and the title is Life Imprisonment and Pardon.
This judge sentences the criminal Lee Kyun-bi as follows: life imprisonment. I was sentenced to life imprisonment, and I had to start my life in prison. Locked in a place where no one could enter, and no right, no hope of ever getting out. Then one day, what seemed like life in prison ended. 4 years ago, I used to do taekwondo. The taekwondo instructor I met during those days was a person who guided me strictly. If I got through while training, he wouldn't say, "Kyunbi, what's wrong? Are you okay? Can you continue?" But wouldn't say instead, "It's okay, you can do it, just keep it." I was young, so I was afraid of getting hurt, not like him. One day, I broke my toe and went to him. But he only applied it on ice pack and told me to rest a little. Then I thought of one thing: it's useless talking to him about my pain. After this incident, even when I got hurt, I endured it alone and waited to hear naturally. I stopped talking about what I was feeling inside, not only my instructor, but also my friends and even my parents. I felt frustrated and I felt like I was locked in a dark room alone. I began to fall into a trap of sentencing myself to a lifelong prison sentence, thinking alone without knowing when it would end. While I living in this prison of isolation, I heard a lecture at school. No matter how clean a river is, if the flowing water stagnates, it smells and the creatures there cannot survive long. On the contrary, when the water flows, even a dirty river becomes clean again, and the marine life becomes more diverse. If you become isolated, make it flow. From then on, I found this until now. I had been living a difficult life, trapped in the events of my childhood, just like a stagnant river. Soon after, I began to open my mouth little by little. A word in my parents, a word in my friends, then little by little, changes began to occur. Problems that seemed unsolvable were resolved, and light began to shine deep within me. And now it is completely resolved, and I am living happily ever after. Now, convict Lee Kyun-bi is released with a special pardon on the grounds of exchanging. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next contestant is contestant number 14, Jin Young-ha, and the title is Us Who Are Not Divided by Two.
Have you ever felt lonely? Truth be told, I don't feel lonely very often. All the way through elementary school, I had one friend who I couldn't wait to spend the day talking to. So I never felt lonely. However, when I started attending a boarding school, I had to get to know everyone, not just one person. Sure, it was different kind of equation than elementary school. But the problem was that the number of girls ended in odd number. One person would always be left out, and the person was me. So I struggled with loneliness if I knew it. I'd become a Sunday side of my friends, pricking and hurting them. As fight became frequent and the friends talked about me behind my back, I felt like I didn't have anyone on my side in this world. As I listened to my friends have fun outside, I couldn't help but think, why am I only one seem to be so hurt? I couldn't escape the thought potentially my friends came to me and asked me to talk to the teacher with them. I went around thinking I should just assume not say anything. When my teacher heard what had happened, she said, it's okay to be an odd number and it's okay to go by yourself sometimes. My friends who were listening to the teacher's story also talked about how upset they were and how they too felt left out. I wasn't the only one who felt left out. My friends were struggling just as much, but they just didn't show it. I'd been judging them based on what I thought they were doing. It was then that I understood how they felt was able to look at myself. Someone once said it's not a fear of being on the max only. I thought of being on the max only. There are times when you're together and times when you're not alone. The chopstick requires balance and strength, but a fork is great for stabbing. Even now, there are times when you're not alone because you're mismatched. But instead of struggling, I think it's not so bad to be alone. I can do other things. Now, I use my alone time to think about the things I need to do. I now try to be a tree with shade, not stones. It doesn't, so that when baby birds comes and they wanted to rest, it doesn't get pricked by the stones. I try to be a good friend so that when my friends reach out to me, I can always hold their hands and they can come to me and rest. Being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely anymore. When you feel alone, look around. You will get plenty of company. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the next contestant is contestant number 15, Hye Chan Chun, and the title is Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I am the shortest man measured from the ground, but I am the tallest man measured from the sky. I am the tallest man. A quote from Napoleon Bonaparte. A man once well known for his short stature, but would eventually be well known as a political leader and a prolific military commander. I am John Chan, currently just another student at Ulsanlin컨 Middle School. However, like Napoleon, I too will be in a leadership role as my dream is to become the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Of course, I'm still not good enough to attain such a position just yet. But just like Napoleon, I will overcome my limitations of being small on earth. And Napoleon isn't the only well-known figure who has positive influence on my young life. This other celebrity figure operates not on battlefields in long ago distant lands, but right here in our modern world and in arguably the most popular and exciting sport exists, soccer. The person I want to tell you about is a striker who is considered to be of average build, Filippo Inzaghi. But how did this striker of average build manage to score a staggering 300 goals? His secret, positioning. Inzaghi had a weak body, mediocre running speed, and poor individual skills, nothing indicating a competent soccer player. He did have, however, a perceptive ability concerning exactly where the ball was going to land, a perfect understanding of his teammates' passes, and could find the ideal openings from which to execute its amazing headers. Inzaghi accurately identified his weaknesses, and instead of focusing on what he couldn't do, and as well as his teammates, he focused on the things he could do, positioning or spatial awareness. His hard work, focus, and dedication were a great lesson for me. To compensate for my own deficiencies, I decided to translate every week for a foreign teacher. I was very scared at first, but like Filippo Inzaghi, I decided to put myself in the right place. The first few weeks were challenging, but little by little, I started to get better. Like Napoleon, I will never stop striving until those around me have no choice but to measure me from the sky. Like Inzaghi, I will hone my skills and become an asset where once others saw me as a liability. And you too can go beyond the negative image others project on you. Take your first steps towards progress today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next contestant number is 16, and the name is Soo-jin Seo. The title is An Eye for the World.
Yellow apple, yellow pen. Why does the world look yellow to me? It's because I'm wearing yellow sunglasses. Even when we look at the same object, it looks different depending on which eyes we are looking with. We have big eyes, small eyes, double eyelids, and monolids, and we also have eyes in our mind. It's how we use the eyes of our mind, how we look through them, that changes everything. Today, I'm going to tell you how I've been able to the eyes of my mind. It happened when I was in elementary school. In my English class, we were split into 4 teams and we had to play a game where we had to answer questions. I looked at the people on my team and I thought, oh, we are done for. And then the game started and one of my teammates got the first question wrong. And before I knew it, the words came out of my mouth. Our team is already going to lose. Let's just not play. At that moment, my teammates all looked at me and the atmosphere became awkward. One of my friends said, "What's wrong with you? You still have a lot of chances. Why are you giving up?" That's when I realized that my words are ruining the morale of our team. But even after that, in middle school and beyond, whenever I'm faced with something that seems difficult or overwhelming, my first thought is, I'm done for, I'm going to fail out of habit. Then one day, my teacher called me aside and told me a story. Sujin, there is an island country called Kiribati. And one day, a child cried and said to his mother, "Mommy, something is wrong. The sun has fallen into the sea." And his mother said, "Don't worry, there are drops under the sea. There are drops living under the sea. And they are going to spend all night building a sun. And then tomorrow, they are going to push it up, and then tomorrow, the sun will rise again." Watching the sun go down, the mother and child saw it from a different perspective. No matter the situation, you can turn a negative into a positive by changing your perspective. Since that day, I noticed that when new things come my way, my first thought is, this is going to suck. But then I start to change my mindset and say, no, I can do this. Let's give it a shot. When something seems overwhelming or impossible, put on your positive sunglasses and you'll find happiness in the midst of it. Thank you.
So much. And the next contestant is contestant number 17, Eun-mi Hwang. The title is Followership Rather Than Leadership.
Everyone, I have a dream. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. Don't let my dad be informed to the enemy. The figures I just showed you are the iconic leaders who steered us into this era. I used to think that the virtues one must possess to become such a great leader are wisdom and respect from the public. However, there was an opportunity that completely changed my thinking. Would you like to hear it? I'm currently serving as student council president at the school I attend. Before I was elected president, I was very excited to imagine becoming a president who would charismatically lead students. After I was elected president, everyone recognized me, and all the students and even teachers started calling me all the time. Hey, Jade, can you help me please? Jade, I need your help. I spent my busy days as the school Superman. But my playing the hero didn't last too long. As I made more and more mistakes, students who were disappointed by my behavior began to stop listening to me. Instead of being the cool president I'd imagined, I was becoming a president of many mistakes. One day, I had a big conflict even with the vice president, so I went into the bathroom and cried alone. At that time, I heard someone criticize me. What kind of student council president is she? She always just gives orders and thinks she's the boss. I held my breath and waited for the students to leave. Then I went to the teacher's office and said, I cannot be president anymore. The teacher sat me down and told me the position of a leader was completely different from what I had imagined. Jade, the best leader is not one who is good at giving instructions to followers, but one who can listen well to what followers say. To become a good leader, you must first become a pillar and become someone who helps followers and assists others. After that, rather than trying to become a president who only instructed and directed others, I began listening to those who looked up to me and helping those in need. Only then was I able to better understand their feelings, and we became collaborators who supported each other and did our schoolwork together. Of course, I still make a lot of mistakes, but no longer from a position of only othering others without taking time to listen to them. We all have some idea of what it means to understand, but if you split the word in two, you get under and stand, or stand under. In other words, standing below. Being a subordinate, supporting others. I was just a leader at a school, but now I'm a follower, and I will continue to be a leader who follows and understands others first. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the next contestant will be the last contestant of our contest today. So our final contestant is contestant number 18, Eun-hye Lee, and the title is Waiting for Spring in Myanmar.
Have you ever seen a tank in real life? What comes to mind when you see a tank in a movie? Do you think it's cool? Scary? For me, seeing a tank makes me sad to the point of tears. That's because when I see a picture of a tank, it reminds me of my home country, Myanmar. In 2020, as the pandemic was sweeping the world, war began in Myanmar. Many people who were fighting for their beloved country lost their lives. The Water Festival, the happiest day of the year for the people of Myanmar, became the saddest day of the year because of the war. My Myanmar, the most hopeful country in Southeast Asia, has become the most desperate since the war. During the war, there were more days without electricity in my home than days with it. At school, I didn't have the teachers I respected and the friends I love. And there were days when it was hard to go outside because of the sounds of gunfire. Even now, Myanmar is still going through a hopeless winter. Here I am in South Korea, enjoying happy time with pretty uniforms, a good school, dear friends. But I always feel sad when I think of Myanmar. I thought they were not denied. A small 15 years old girl with no power or ability to do for my country. One day, while watching TV, I saw a Cambodian billiards player named Trong PV. She had come to South Korea and was married to a Korean husband of 28 years. But she didn't speak the language and experienced difficulties integrating into this new culture. She discovered her hidden ability when her husband taught her to play billiards. She is now the most famous billiards player in South Korea. She started using her winnings from tournaments to help students in Cambodia, the country she loved most. Cambodia is a country as scarred and as poor as Myanmar. But to Cambodian students, PV was a hero. Through PV, I found what I can do. I dream of being a mind teacher to sow happiness into the heart of many friends in Myanmar who have lost the spirit of hope. I had a lot of difficulty because of my poor Korean language skills and the different culture from Myanmar. But as I learned how to challenge myself, the difficulty became a pleasure. I want to share the happiness mindset I learned in Korean with many people in Myanmar. I'm hopeful it will provide some hope for my beloved Myanmar people who have lost the spirit of their hearts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finally, all the speeches are finished for today's contest. Please give them another round of applause for those who gave speech today. In the beginning of the contest, faces of all contestants looked very nervous and kind of dark, but after finishing all the speeches, I can see their faces getting brighter. The next program is musical performance by flutist Taehyung Kim. The title of the songs are Grace of God and My Heart Will Go On. Please welcome him with a warm round of applause. Thank you so much for the wonderful musical performance. So for now, as we are waiting for the results, we have a very special lecture. So Principal Oh Se-jae of Ulsan-Lincoln School, who always guides students with love, will come out and give us my lecture.
네, 여러분 반갑습니다. 네. 예, 오늘 우리 교육청에서도 우리 정우규 과장님 오셨고 또 우리 레오 클럽의 전세혁님, 가이딩님, 또 전인석 우리 지역 회장님, 또 오늘 심사하시는 우리 유니스트의 또 발라 박사님, 아니 박사님, 또 창원대학의 라비 교수님, 또 러시아의 안글 번역가님하고 또 라이온스에 있는 리키 이렇게 많이 오셔가지고 수고를 해 주시고 계십니다. 너무 감사합니다. 제가 이제 심사하는 동안에 여러분을 위해서 잠깐 이렇게 몇 마디 말씀을 전해드리려고 합니다. 여기 나오는 이제 빅터 세리브 아코프라는 분이 계신데 이분은 IQ가 173이나 된다고 합니다. 근데 17년 동안을 바보로 지냈다고 합니다. IQ가 저렇게 뛰어난데 어떻게 바보로 살 수가 있겠습니까? 이분의 삶을 이제 그 책으로 써서 나온 책이 바보 빅터라는 것인데 이분이 이제 자기가 바보로 17년을 살다 어느 날 자기 IQ가 173이라는 것을 알게 된 거죠. 그러면서 이분이 굉장히 충격을 받게 됩니다. 아, 나 바보가 아니었나? 왜 내가 지금까지 이 IQ 173을 가지고 바보로 살았을까? 생각을 했을 때 남들이 자기를 향해서 하는 그 말을 듣고 그 말에 속아서 자기 인생을 바보로 살 수밖에 없었다는 걸 이 사람이 발견을 하고 IQ가 뛰어나지만 이제 뭐 이렇게 뭐가 있습니까? IQ도 있지만 EQ도 있고 뭐 AQ도 있고 여러 가지 지수가 있지 않습니까? IQ는 지능 지수를 한다면 요즘은 감성 지수라는 것도 아주 중요하고 역경을 이겨낼 수 있는 역경 지수도 우리 인생을 사는데 굉장히 중요하다고 합니다. 그래서 우리의 삶은 꼭 머리로 IQ로만 되는 것이 아니라 내가 어떤 마음을 가지고 사느냐 이게 아주 중요한 거죠. 그 미국의 심리학자 세더 햄스터드 교수님은 우리 인간은 하루에 5만 가지에서 7만 가지 정도의 생각을 한다고 합니다. 근데 그 생각 중에서 한 85%가 부정적인 생각이라고 하는 거죠. 그럼 우리는 대부분 부정적인 생각을 이렇게 하면서 살아가는 겁니다. 그러면 이제 성공하는 사람들은 내 속에 일어나는 그 부정적인 생각을 밀어내고 긍정적인 생각을 가지고 살아가는 사람이 성공을 할 수가 있는 것입니다. 또 이제 영혼을 위한 닭고기 수프에 보면 마시 시모프라는 분은 우리 생각의 95%는 어제 한 생각을 또 똑같이 하고 있다는 거죠. 근데 그 생각 중에 80%가 부정적인 생각이다. 그래 인간이 부정적으로 흘러갈 수밖에 없는 것은 인간의 생각에서 그런 부정적인 생각을 많이 하기 때문에 그런 것입니다. 자, 우리가 이제 사고할 줄 알면 이렇게 내 생각을 좀 이렇게 통제를 하는 그것도 사고를 잘할 수 있는 방법이 되는 것입니다. 자, 여기 마가렛 대처 수상이 나오는데 이 마가렛 대처 수상이 하신 말씀인데 굉장히 좀 감명스러운 말이죠. 생각을 조심하라. 생각이 말이 된다. 말을 조심하라. 말이 뭐가 된다고요? 행동이 된다. 행동을 조심하라. 행동이 습관이 된다. 습관을 조심하라. 습관이 성격이 된다. 성격을 조심하라. 성격이 운명이 된다. 그러면 결국 운명이라는 것은 생각에서 시작이 되는 것입니다. 운명의 출발은 내가 하는 그 생각을 따라 말을 하고 생각을 따라 행동을 하고 생각을 따라 습관이 되고 습관이 또 나 성격이 되고 그러면서 그게 운명이 되는 건데 그 운명을 바꾸는 방법은 아주 간단한 거죠. 내가 하는 생각을 바꿀 수 있다면 그 사람의 운명도 바뀔 수가 있는 것입니다. 맞습니까? 예, 그렇죠. 뭐 운명을 바꾸려고 뭘 싸움을 해야 되는 게 아니라 생각 하나만 바꾸면 내 운명이 바뀌게 되는 것입니다. 나폴레옹 힐이라는 분이 계신데 이분은 원래 신문 기자인데 이분이 이제 카네기 씨를 만납니다. 강철왕 카네기를 만나서 제안을 받는데 그 제안이 뭐냐면 미국에 성공한 507명의 그 갑부들을 인터뷰를 해달라는 요청을 받습니다. 그 507명을 인터뷰를 하려면 뭐 한 주간에 한 명씩 인터뷰를 해도 1년이면 53주고 10년을 해야 되지 않겠습니까? 그리고 10년을 하고 그 데이터를 정리를 해가지고 어떤 생각을 가지고 있는 사람들이 성공을 하는지 그 성공한 사람들의 습관, 생각 이런 걸 책으로 만들어 달라는 요청을 받았는데 돈은 줄 수가 없다는 거죠. 최소한 20년 정도 일을 해야 되는데 돈을 한 푼도 안 받고 20년 동안 이 일을 할 수가 있느냐. 그래서 이 나폴레옹 힐이 예 하겠습니다. 20년 동안 뭐 신문 기자 일을 하면서 이 카네기 씨가 주는 명단을 받아가지고 성공한 갑부들을 이렇게 면담을 하다 보니까 놀라운 공통점이 발견이 된 거죠. 성공한 사람들만이 가지고 있는 공통점. 그걸 책으로 만들었습니다. 그 책 제목이 Think and Grow Rich라는 책인데 이 책이 자그마치 2천만 부가 팔리게 되었다 합니다. 예, 뭐 책 한 권에 1달러씩만 받는다 해도 이윤이 생긴다 해도 200억이라는 엄청난 돈이 한순간에 굴러 들어오게 되는 거죠. 그래 이분이 이제 성공학이라는 새로운 학문을 만들게 되고 그리고 미국의 대통령께서 당신 우리 경제부 장관을 해라 했는데 못하겠습니다. 이러니까 그러면 자문을 맡아서 자문위원을 해달라 해서 미국 대통령의 자문을 맡아서 일한 아주 정말 놀라운 분인데 그게 내용 중에 하나가 뭐냐면요. 생각이 현실이 된다는 것입니다. 성공한 사람들은 성공하기 전에 나는 앞으로 30대에 이만큼 부자가 될 거야. 40대 이만큼 부자가 될 거야. 50대 이만큼 부자가 될 거야. 그런 정확한 꿈을 가지고 있었고 그 꿈을 실현하기 위한 세부적인 방향이 있었다는 것입니다. 그럼 어느 날 부자가 되는 뭐 우리 졸부라고 하죠. 뭐 그런 갑자기 땅값이 올라가지고 부자가 됐다. 그런 사람 말고 사업을 해가지고 열심히 돈을 벌어서 성공한 사람들이 가지고 있는 그 공통점은 다 부자가 될 마음을 가지고 그들은 살았더라는 것입니다. 자, 그래서 여러분도 부자가 되려면 지금부터 부자의 꿈을 꾸면 부자가 되겠습니까? 안 되겠습니까? 됩니다. 그리고 구체적인 꿈을 가지시면 여러분 정말 부자가 될 겁니다. 그래서 부자도 생각에서부터 시작이 된다. 예, 우리 생각은 참 중요한 겁니다. 여기 이제 이 지도를 보면 남이섬이라는 게 있습니다. 여러분 남이섬에 가보셨는지 모르겠는데 여기 중간에 있는 이 섬이 남이섬인데 이 남이섬이 원래는 쓰레기 더미 섬이었습니다. 그래서 사람들이 배 타고 가지고 저기서 술 마시고 술병을 깨가지고 아무 때나 뭐 집어 던져놓고 쓰레기를 쌓아놓고 그래서 아무도 농사도 제대로 지을 가치가 없는 쓰레기 더미 섬인데 이 섬을 한 분이 사셔가지고 쓰레기를 다 걷어서 치우고 그 섬에다가 꽃길을 만들고 또 이제 뭐 메타스퀘어를 심고 또 조각품들을 이제 진열을 하고 또 남녀 연인들이 와서 자전거 타고 산책할 수 있는 그런 길을 만들고 하면서 이제 남이섬이라는 곳은 정말 사랑하는 연인들끼리 가서 그곳에서 데이트를 즐기는 하나의 그런 장소가 된 겁니다. 저도 뭐 여러 차례 가봤는데 남이섬에 가을에 가면 굉장히 좋습니다. 그리고 이제 단풍이 노랗게 들었을 때 사랑하는 사람이랑 남이섬에 가면 배 타고 가서 자전거도 타고 또 노란 단풍잎도 밟고 사진도 찍고 하면 굉장한 추억을 남길 수 있습니다. 버려져 있는 쓰레기 섬을 이 섬은 농사도 짓기 어렵고 아무 가치가 없는 섬이야. 어떤 사람 눈에는 아무 가치가 없는 섬이었는데 바로 그 한 분의 눈에는 이 섬을 개발을 하면 어마어마한 가치가 있겠다. 그래 남이섬 2016년 코로나가 오기 전에 연간 관광객이 해외 관광객만 130만 명이 왔다는 거죠. 국내까지 하면 한 300만 명, 330만 명의 관광객이 오는데 아마 입장료가 한 10,000원 정도 해요. 배 타고 들어가고 배 타고 들어가면 거기서 뭐 아이스크림이라도 하나 먹어야 되고 또 음료수라도 하나 사 마시고 이렇게 하다 보면 돈 10,000원은 쓰겠죠. 그러니까 사실 춘천이 이 남이섬 때문에 돌아가고 있는 겁니다. 생각을 하나 할 줄 아는 사람이 지역 경제를 돌리고 있고 살아갈 수 있도록 이렇게 만드는 걸 볼 수가 있는 것입니다. 자, 이게 이제 남이섬에 이렇게 은행나무 은행나무로 이렇게 쫙 심겨져 있는 곳인데, 연인이 이렇게 자전거를 타고 가고 있는 거죠. 노랗게 단풍이 들면 얼마나 저 길이 예쁘겠습니까, 그죠? 그래서 정말 우리가 똑같은 것이라 할지라도 생각을 어떻게 하느냐에 따라서 가치가 달라진다는 것입니다. 우리가 이제 그 동양의 역사를 보면 동양은 중국, 한국, 일본 이런 식으로 항상 문화가 중국에서 한국으로, 한국에서 일본으로 이렇게 건너갔습니다. 근데 동양의 역사가 뒤집어진 때가 있었는데 그때가 1868년이었습니다. 그게 명치유신이라는 것인데 일본의 돈, 미국의 이제 달러 가장 최고권인 $100 화폐고, 미국의 그 프랭클린 이 미국의 $100 돈에는 그 대통령 얼굴이 그 실려 있는 것이 아니고 그 피레침 있잖아요. 피레침 번개 칠 때 그 막아주는 그 피레침을 발견한 프랭클린, 저분은 이제 미국 건국의 아버지라고 합니다. 그 $100 지폐에 들어가 있어요. 근데 일본의 이제 천엔, 만엔, 일본의 만엔의 돈에 들어가 있는 저 인물은 도대체 누구냐면, 저 인물이 후쿠자와 유키지라는 사람인데, 저 인물은 이렇게 그 명치유신 때에 일본 개하에 가장 공헌했던 사람 중에 한 사람입니다. 그러니까 사실은 이제 우리 동양의 역사에 일본이 항상 후발주자였는데 어느 순간에 일본이 앞서 나가기 시작했단 말이에요. 그 사건이 뭐냐면 그 아편 전쟁이 있었거든요. 아편 전쟁. 아편 막 이 영국 사람들이 그 아편을 청나라에 막 팔기를 시작했잖아요. 그래갖고 청나라 사람 아편에 중독이 되고, 그래서 정부가 영국 막 배를 막 이렇게 불 지르고 이렇게 하면서 영국하고 청나라하고 전쟁이 일어난 거죠. 근데 영국은 뭐 많은 군대를 가져온 것도 아니고 배 몇 척 이렇게 걸고 와가지고 청나라하고 싸웠는데 그 전쟁에서 청나라가 박살이 난 겁니다. 그 동양에 있는 나라들이 충격을 받았습니다. 청나라는 그 당시 우리 아시아의 어떻게 보면 형님과 같은 나라였는데 청나라가 영국에게 전쟁에서 지는 걸 보면서 일본 사람들이 제일 먼저 마음을 바꿨습니다. 야, 우리가 청나라를 따라가야 되는 게 아니구나. 우리가 지금부터는 저 유럽을 배워야 되겠다. 그래서 일본이 제일 먼저 중국에서 손을 끊고 유럽에 사절단을 보내게 됩니다. 그 일본이 그게 빨랐기 때문에 일본이 한국보다 앞서가게 된 거죠. 그래서 이제 유럽에 가서 이렇게 유럽을 이렇게 돌아보고 네덜란드에 있는 어떤 문화나 문물, 군대 조직 제도 뭐 이런 것들을 다 수입을 하게 됩니다. 그래서 제일 먼저 이 아시아에서 개화를 한 나라가 일본이 되게 된 거죠. 예, 그러면서 일본은 그때 뭘 또 하게 되냐 하면 저 유럽에 있는 그 고전들을 일본 말로 번역을 하게 됩니다. 번역을 하면서 뭐 단테 신곡이라든지 뭐 소크라테스나 여러 이제 그 셰익스피어나 어떤 이런 책들을 그 당시 아시아권에 별로 관심이 없었는데 우리 중국 책들을 많이 읽었는데 일본이 개화를 하면서 그런 책들을 일본 말로 번역을 하게 되었고 또 미국에 있는 여러 책을 일본 말로 번역을 하면서 그래서 우리 한국에 있는 영문법도 일본에서 들어왔습니다. 일본에 들어왔고 수학의 뭐 대부분 수학적인 것도 다 일본에서 들어오고 국문법에 대한 국문법도 우리가 공부를 하다 보면 일본에서 들어오게 된 거죠. 왜 우리가 일본 걸 배워야 됩니까? 일본보다 개화를 늦게 한 거예요. 그래서 일본이 먼저 받아들인 걸 우리가 받아들이다 보니까 이제 일본을 거쳐서 들어오게 된 것입니다. 자, 여기 이제 1980년, 90년도에 세계에서 가장 일본이 앞서가는 진짜 나라였습니다. 지금 이제 경제가 좀 많이 뭐 침체기가 들어가지고 일본이 많이 떨어졌는데, 자, 1990년도에 반도체 매출 톱 10을 보면 일본하고 미국이 대부분 차지하고 있습니다. 일본이 6개 기업이 되지 않습니까? 지금은 한국이 뭐 삼성전자, SK 하이닉스 이렇게 올라가 있고 그 다음에 미국이 또 차지하고 있고 한데 그러니까 1990년도까지만 해도 일본은 세계에서 가장 잘 나가는 나라였던 거죠. 지금은 이제 뭐 경제가 잠자고 우리나라랑 이제 거의 비슷하고 역전이 됐다 하는 사람들도 있고 한데 그럼 이렇게 정말 일본의 동양의 역사를 뒤집어 놓은 엄청난 사건이 명치유신이었다는 거죠. 그들이 개화를 하고 먼저 유럽에 있는 고전이나 이런 문물을 받아들이면서 일본은 이 동북아시아에서 가장 앞서가는 나라가 된 것입니다. 그럼 왜 그게 왜 그래 중요하고 큽니까? 우리가 사람이 이렇게 사고하는 거 있지 않습니까? 옛날 고전들이나 이런 책들은 사고를 깊이 해야 되거든요. 그러니까 사고가 앞서가다 보면 다른 사람들을 이끌어 줄 수 있는 리더가 되고 거기에서 많은 아이디어가 나오게 되는 것입니다. 자, 이렇게 해서 이제 동양의 역사가 바뀌게 됐다는 걸 여러분이 좀 아시면 좋겠고, 넘겨주세요. 네, 요 이야기만 좀 하면 이제 미국의 그 뉴욕에 한 번 더 뉴욕의 뉴욕주 교육부가 있습니다. 이 교육부에서 5세대 그러니까 한 200년 정도 전에 150년, 200년 전에 살았던 두 가문 경제나 또 인원수나 뭐 교육 수준이나 비슷한 두 가문이 5세대가 지나고 나서 어떻게 변화를 입었는가 두 사람을 비교를 했는데 요나단 에드워드 가문하고 머커스 슐츠라는 가문입니다. 하나 넘겨주세요. 됐습니다. 자, 시작할 때는 두 가문이 뭐 같은 시대에, 같은 지역에, 같은 경제력, 같은 가족 수를 가지고 출발을 했는데, 자, 이제 5세대가 지났을 때 이 요나단 에드워드 가문에는 부통령이 한 명이 나왔고 상원 의원이 4명, 대학 총장이 12명, 대학 교수가 65명, 의사가 60명, 목사가 100명, 또 군인이 75명, 또 이렇게 작가, 저술가가 85명, 판검사, 변호사가 130명, 공무원이 80명. 정말 다 짱짱한 사람들만 이렇게 896명이라는 후손들이 태어났습니다. 자, 근데 머커스 슐츠라 가문의 사람들은 더 사람은 많았습니다. 1062명의 후손들이 있었는데 그 중에 전과자가 96명, 알코올 중독자가 58명, 창녀가 65명, 빈민이 286명, 또 막노동으로 하루하루를 연명하고 살아가는 사람이 460명이었습니다. 그리고 시작은 똑같았는데 비슷했는데 5세대가 지나는 동안에 한 가문은 미국에서 가장 중요한 정말 노란자와 같은 그런 중요한 역할을 하는 한 가문이 되었고, 또 다른 가문은 미국에서 세금을 정말 이렇게 먹고 국비로 연명하면서 또 많은 폐를 끼치는 그런 집안이 된 겁니다. 그리고 이 두 가문의 차이가 뭐냐면, 이 요나단 에드워드는 목사였습니다. 그래서 늘 이 성경을 읽고, 성경을 뭐 200번 넘게 읽었다 하더라고요. 그리고 성경만 읽는 게 아니고 인문 고전을 읽고 늘 이렇게 생각을 깊이 하고 이렇게 살았던 거죠. 그래, 아버지 때는 이 요나단 에드워드는 참 어렵게 살았지만 자식들은 갈수록 더 이렇게 잘 풀리게 되는 거죠. 그리고 더 중요한 일을 맡아서 하고 이렇게 하게 됐고, 머거 슐츠는 그 지역에서 이렇게 술집을 하며 살았습니다. 술집을 하면서 아이고 뭐 사람이 뭐 언젠간 한번 죽는 건데 뭐 책 읽으면 뭐하냐, 신앙을 하면 뭐하냐, 그냥 먹고 마시고 놀고 인생은 즐기는 거야. 이 머거 슐츠는 그런 철학을 가지고 자식들한테도 야, 책 읽을 필요 없어, 그냥 막 인생은 즐기면 되는 거야, 이렇게 가르친 거죠. 그래서 뭐 자기도 그냥 그렇게 사시다가 세상을 떠났고, 후손들도 뭐 책도 안 읽고 성경도 안 읽고 교회도 안 다니고 자기 마음대로 살다 보니까 결국 뭐 그 중에서 전과자, 알코올 중독자, 창녀, 빈민, 막노동으로 하루하루를 살아가는 그런 사람들이 이렇게 자손들이 된 겁니다. 야, 그러니까 우리가 이제 지금 똑같이 출발을 해도 100년, 200년, 300년이 지나고 나면 전혀 다른 결과가 나온다는 걸 볼 수 있잖아요. 그 중요한 포인트가 뭡니까? 생각을 깊이 하고 사는 가문하고 그냥 먹고 마시고 놀고 이렇게 사는 가문하고는 시작은 비슷할 줄 모르지만 결과는 하늘과 땅만큼 많은 차이가 날 수밖에 없다는 것입니다. 그러니까 사고하는 사람이 앞서갈 수밖에 없는 거예요. 사고하지 않는 사람보다 사고하는 사람이 앞서갈 수밖에 없다. 제가 이제 심사가 빨리 안 된대요. 몇 장만 준비해. 다 맞췄네요. 그래 제가 이제 오늘 우리 영어 스피치 하느라고 우리 학생들이 수고를 많이 하셨고, 우리 심사위원님들도 수고를 많이 하셨습니다. 여러분 또 듣는 분들도 못 알아듣는데 앉아서 끝까지 도망 안 가고 들어주시는 대단히 수고를 많이 하셨습니다. 오늘 우리 수고한 모든 분들에게 박수를 한번 드리도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다. 앞으로 우리 링컨 학교가 더 발전하고 또 우리 학생들이 더 좋은 학생들이 될 수밖에 없는 건 저들을 사랑해 주시는 많은 분들이 계시기 때문에 그렇다고 믿습니다. 끝까지 함께 해주셔서 너무 감사합니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you for the grateful and meaningful mind lecture. So for now, we will have judges' commentary by judges. So the judge Arzegul will kindly come up first and share the judges' remarks.
So, hello everybody again, and it will be so exciting party. Your students is amazing. I don't have another word. They are very amazing. It's, I think it's a, and now I just want to saying and looking for pleasure for teachers because it's a result of their words. How you are working like that, so that you have this result, teachers. I am so exciting from I don't have words. Just I can only do this for you. Because some years ago I have an experience of teacher and I understand it is not mine. But yours, these results, they don't have rules. It's only honor. It's a grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First of all, let me congratulate all these students who did so well today. I am so impressed, and I would like to give you a round of applause. I am from an English-speaking country, the United States, and I am pleased to be here to hear all of these English speeches and for your content and for everything, all the hard work that you've put in. I would really like to say that I'm really impressed with each and every one of you. And your efforts are paying off. It's amazing. And I can relate to you, speaking a foreign language, because 2 weeks ago, I began my career here to learn Korean. So this is my school too, and I am glad to be here. So I do want to say that I am so impressed with everybody that came up here and was brave enough to be able to give us your speech today. I think the content of everyone that the subject you selected was amazing. And the way you used the audio visuals, it was perfect. Everything is just so wonderful. And it was hard for us as judges to actually choose the people who are going to be what we call winners. But as far as I'm concerned, I think each one of you are winners today. And we would like to thank you for being here. So I'm going to turn it over to the main judge, and we'll go to the presentations here.
Okay, we will finish the judge's remark here. And then, okay, so I have the results in my hand. I think you all be nervous now, right? 모두 떨리시죠? So I'm also very nervous. So if I call your name, please come up to the stage because it's awarding time. And then our prizes are divided into 8 prizes. It consists of the judge's choice, impressive speech, 3rd special prizes, 2nd special prize, 1st special prize, 2nd place, 1st place, and grand prize. You are all nervous, right? So before I call your name, please make a drum sound for me. So the first, I'll present the judge's choice first. Then the judge's choice award will be given by the committee president 정인석, 정인석 위원장님께서 나오셔서 심사위원상은 수여해 주시겠습니다. So, the judge's choice goes to contestant number 7, Yehan Park. Congratulations! Judge's prize. In recognition achievement in 2023 Ulsan-Lincoln School Speech Contest, September 24th, 2023, Ulsan-Lincoln School. Thank you very much. And for now, I will present the impressive speech. The impressive speech award will be given by guide 천세혁 가이드님께서 상장 수여해 주시겠습니다. So, the impressive speech award goes to Contestant number 3, Yoonji Jo. Congratulations. Impressive speech, certificate of award presented to Yoonji Jo in recognition of achievement in 2023 Ulsan Lincoln School Speech Contest, September 24th, 2023 Ulsan Lincoln School. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And nextly, I would like to present of the third special prize, and the third special prize will be given by Dr. Bala. So, I can see you're all excited. So the third special prize will be going to contestant number 15, Hae Chan-jan. Congratulations. Third special prize, certificate of award presented to Hae Chan-jan in recognition of achievement in 2023 Ulsan Lincoln School Speech Contest, September 24th, 2023 Ulsan Lincoln School. Congratulations. Okay, I will go on to the second special prize. The second special prize will be given by Dr. Annie. So please, yes, kindly come out to the stage. So, the second special prize is going to be giving to contestant number 5, Kwon Bin-jo. Congratulations. Second special prize, certificate of award presented to Kwon Bin-jo. The rest is the same as above. 이하 동문입니다. Thank you so much. Now we have the first special prize left for the special prizes. So the first special prize will be given by Professor Ravi. So please, kindly come out to the stage. So the waiting for the awardee student. The first special prize will be given to contestant number 16, Soo-jin Seo. Congratulations. The first special prize, certificate of award presented to Soo-jin Seo. The rest is the same as above. Thank you very much. And now we have, thank you so much. And now we have second prize. And second prize will be given by the judge Al Ji-gil. So please come on to the stage. Thank you so much. Are you excited? Who do you think will be the second prize? So the second prize will be giving to contestant number 18, Eun-hae Lee. Congratulations. Second prize, certificate of award presented to Eun-hae Lee in recognition of achievement in 2023 Ulsan Lincoln School Speech Contest, September 24th, 2023 Ulsan Lincoln School. Congratulations. Now we will move on to first prize. The first prize will be given by the judge Rick. So please come out to the stage. So, if you are nervous, please release your nervousness by hitting your desk. So the first prize is going to be given to contestant number 11, Dong-Yoon Yang. Congratulations. First prize, certificate of award presented to Dong-Yoon Yang in recognition of achievement in 2023 Ulsan-Lincoln School Speech Contest, September 24th, 2023, Ulsan-Lincoln School. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Okay, so finally, we have the grand prize left. And the grand prize will be given by Principal Oh Se-jae. I'm very nervous too. So, the final grand prize goes to, are you nervous? The contestant number 17, Eun-mi Hwang. Congratulations! Grand prize certificate of award presented to Eun-mi Hwang in recognition of achievement in 2023 Ulsan-Lincoln School Speech Contest, September 24th, 2023 Ulsan-Lincoln School. She's crying. Please give her another round of applause. Congratulations. That's the tears of enjoyment, I think. She's so happy. Thank you so much. So all the students who are awarded will take pictures together. 그 수상하신 분들은 사진 찍도록 하겠습니다. 아니, 클로즈 먼저 할게요. Okay, thank you everybody. You all did great job today. Although some students didn't get a prize, I think it will be a big help in your life. So we will end the contest here. Thank you again for spending time with us today, and I hope to see you again. Thank you so much. And we will have the group photo all together. So all the judges and VIP people, please come out to the stage, and we will take pictures. 오늘 참가해주신 여러분들 너무나도 감사드립니다. 저희 대회는 그룹 촬영을 마지막으로 마무리하도록 하겠습니다. 와주셔서 감사합니다.